The games have reached a boiling point, and it will only get hotter and hotter as we go on into Miramar. The desert awaits. Plane path splits the map down the middle. Everybody can get where they want to go, but not all the way. Only one team's going to win this one out.
The crowd is chanting for 4MV. And honestly, in the midst of all that, probably every other team towards the top side of the lobby right now looking to make their way in. Alpha 7 with a very pleasing performance for their fans. Back at home and here in London. But it's RCB and NIGMA Galaxy who are knocking on the doors of greatness.
Representatives from the EMEA region, neck and neck now, going for the grandest title in PUBG Mobile Esports. But if they don't settle their differences, there may be that outside chance. Teams further down the tables, sure, there's a gap, but we've seen 33-point games this tournament. Things can change in but a moment. Northeast shift of the circle up to El Azahar.
Tough shift as well for a lot of squads. To get out of the way nice and quickly up towards El Azahar, Impala, Potparaíso. No one's in there quite yet for that eastern rotate. Somewhat a little bit more difficult to make happen. VOIN Donkey ID with a great spot right now in Torre Armada. Can move on down. Slip in between those gates down towards El Azahar, pick up a nice high ground and work with that. 4MV on your screens. More than redeemed themselves coming into PMGC 2024.
Earning over 100 points so far. A team with a following almost unlike any other. And they have made their mark here, earning 103 so far. They have found their feet, they have found that comeback, but in 5th place, there is a large gap to jump up, to be able to lift that trophy. And so many teams in their way to stop them.
For the McLaren, there'll be one more pit stop. And they'll be closing the race out towards the top side of the table. Right now, RCB, that gap at 2 points extended by 1. Influence Rage still trying to make this one happen. Dplus off that last game, 119 points. Lovely stuff. And Alpha 7 now in 11th. With a chance, actually, to get into the top 5, they have another good game. And if you've been an Alpha 7 fan for a long time, you know that Miramar is their stomping grounds. This is where the majority of their strong maps have come through. And it's why they have been so demonic at the end of some of these tournaments, because it comes down to these final 2 Miramars. Suddenly, Alpha 7 starts bringing something special out from the backpack.
Let's hope they can keep that one unfurling. Keep that momentum going, because they are 50 points behind 1st place right now. It would need 2 back-to-back chicken dinners to see them towards the top of the tables. Not so for Dplus KIA, though. They are a lot closer, just around the corner, in fact. Only 16 points behind. That is a closable gap. And to see a South Korean team lift that trophy, that would be brilliant for the region. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about South Korea as this constantly improving, developing region. It feels like we're seeing that finally being displayed here on the biggest stage in PUBG Mobile.
In terms of internationals, that has certainly been the case for South Korea. Started off not great. Dplus,
all right,
changed the game.
They did.
And since then, it has just been better and better and better. But this has been just a unreal tune-up in terms of capability, in terms of determination, in terms of stability, and within these teams. And I think you'll see Dplus and DRX for some time to come now. Both very strong squads, and that's always a nice thing, not only having just that one team from your region, but having another as well that performs just as good.
And the performances need to be stellar towards the top of it. On the tables. Ooh, a little scrap for Silas. A little bit of danger. Wades straight on through the guild camp. And the rest of his team are actually not too close behind. So positions given away. Silas not overexposed. And he finds some safety blank.
Let's head on to over the stage to get a recap.
Welcome back to Championship Sunday, and what would this entire event, this entire competition be without the fans? I am joined by Inan. How are you doing, buddy? You good?
I'm good, thank you. How are you lot? All good?
Yeah, we're great. You know, roaming around and seeing all of you guys is something that's, you know, it's the cherry on top of the cake for us. Now, where have you travelled from to come here?
I'm actually based in London. I haven't travelled far, but because my background's Turkish, I've come to support REGNUM CARYA, bro.
Yes, you have. I love that. A local Sandstorm. How awesome.
That's exactly what we like. You know, we like to have, you know, people supporting either from Turkey or from London. It's fantastic to see fans from all over the place. Now, can you tell us, what would it mean to you and the region for RCB to take the PMGC this year?
It will mean a lot, absolutely, because I've been following REGNUM CARYA, bro, for nearly 2 years now, and they've been absolutely dominating the whole Turkish PUBG, and they've been dominating everything. But this would be meaning a lot to them because they're absolutely working so hard, and they're doing great so far. So it will be meaning a lot to the people in Turkey, people who are supporting them all around the world.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first title as well. It would be the second one, and it would prove that Turkey is up there with one of the best regions in the world in PUBG Mobile.
They are. They're extremely strong, and we love to see it. But, you know, we've got a few more maps to go at this point in the competition. It's getting very tense. You could cut the tension with a knife in the XL arena. So for now, we're going to head back to you guys so we can continue Championship Sunday.
The fans have been lifting up these teams to the performances that they have delivered upon, and we were wondering if RCB were going to go down there in a fight with Guild, but no team actually took a casualty during that interview.
Yeah. I mean, Barney said you could cut the tension with a knife. I don't think so. The tension in that moment was like twisted steel.
Goodness me. It is right down to the wire, but I think the crowd are trying to tell us something, Blank. I wonder who they're supporting right now.
Doc on your screens. An unreal player leading his squad. It's plentiful points going forward. A 33-point game. A record-breaking game for 4MV. And expect no less from the Dockening. Stage 2, though, on the way very shortly. 15 seconds to go on this one. It's a small circle after this. We go stage 1, a lot of space to play with. Teams already in their vehicles. You can see RCB, you can see Influence Rage, all gearing up to step on the gas, and they absolutely will have to. We're heading out over toward the coastal side, over in El Azahar. It's a tough circle as well because a lot of that space on the eastern side is unplayable. That's cliffside.
Yeah, you've got a lot of that cliff in play there, you're right. It's going to cut out the east side. The hills around El Azahar as well are so difficult to move through. The center of the town sits in this massive valley between several different hills that surround it, which means it's basically impassable once teams have managed to entrench themselves on that position. I'm looking at who's going to be able to get the north side of this one, Blank. It's between Alpha 7 and Na'Vi right now as to who is going to take control there. But I think once they've been able to find that north edge could be really powerful for them into these next circles.
Vicious up against Team Spirit. Nomi not quite with the squad yet, though. And it will be 3 players first to face for Team Spirit versus the Vicious. In awkward compounds, awkward spaces. Good pre-fire from Kitsune, though. Will take down the first on Vicious. Looking rather delicious for Team Spirit.
But it could get a little bit pernicious here as they continue to send players on in. Unfortunately, not quite enough to handle Team Spirit. Diminor and Brunozen. The 2 players, 1 up, 1 down. They do manage to find a shot through. That's actually Lorazin from Influence Rage to be able to thread a shot through, and a shotgun from Bronozin lands onto Nomi, down in the alleyway, flushed out as well. And Team Spirit, they were in control of the fight, but with one blow struck from Influence Rage, that all changes.
Good shot, we'll find one. But FX is bleeding out in the process. It's a nice maneuver from Kitsune to get outside the window, get the flush on board. No more info gathering available, and likely to go for the res here. Effect is so close to being downed completely. They have to pick him up. For NIGMA Galaxy, they've also taken a knock. This is down towards the south side. Dplus and DRX. South Korea surrounds them, and Dplus looks to pile on in.
SnowX is down, and now Redox has fallen. The nade in doesn't connect onto Yunbin, and Ralph has to run back here. Cannot really afford to take enough time to get it, and there goes Novalo. A huge opening for RCB to earn points on this match now. Accelerate away. Look to lock in a second title for Silas. And there they go. It is NIGMA Galaxy to fall. A chance for Turkey to find their feet here in 2024.
At the penultimate hurdle, NIGMA Galaxy stumbles. RCB blazes past. For how long can they keep that up? Over towards that northwest side, they'll have to continue forward with the circle. Pleasantly surprising for RCB and the squad. DRX and Dplus weren't letting NIGMA Galaxy get out of that one scot-free, but INSILIO starts to make their way on through. But with NIGMA Galaxy out, you're right, John, those teams around them can start to soar higher above. Dplus being one of those teams that I have my eyes on here.
Dplus KIA on the southeast edge, currently looking to push through. 4MV on the north side. I was saying once Na'Vi and 4MV conclude, that edge I think could be quite powerful, but now you've got Alpha 7 up there in the mix as well. See how they can transition down south into this next circle. VOIN Donkey ID, very, very central onto this one already. They've got an open area surrounding the compound that they hold. The ridge to the south side, potential vulnerability, but that's currently being fraughtly, tensely contested by two teams, by Falcons, by ThunderTalk in the center of this circle. INSILIO trying to extract from the southeast side, but Dplus KIA a lead weight on their feet as they try and rotate. Not to worry though. See if Dplus KIA can't earn a couple of points either way.
South Korean killers here in the lobby. Dplus putting the hurt on the south side of the map. 4 elims already found up to 123 points. Good stuff from them, and DRX being injured and INSILIO being injured means that their northern approach is free and open. They've cleared the way. Now it's time just to walk the path.
4MV versus Na'Vi. On the ridge side, the first opener goes the way of 4MV, but remember Alpha 7's presence on the west side. There is a big third-party potential for this one. And if Alpha 7 want to make this ascension work, they want to change the game, they will need to take this third party, sweep through the north edge, isolate these fights. 4MV look to put more pressure on, but slowly Alpha 7 march forwards. Revo the first to step into harm's way. Flip goes down, and 4MV commit to the push. CARYA moves up for Alpha 7 behind all of this, and 4MV, they've made their way onto the inside, but they may have sealed themselves within their own tomb. If Alpha 7 can get here in time, Reaper steps through, goes down to the spray, and Lemon keeps the door frame under control, keeps the inside there for Na'Vi. Apex is down as well. They could res here, and Alpha 7 have established their perimeter all the while.
Alpha 7 looking good for a couple more points here on the cards and maintaining a huge amount of presence over towards that northeast side. They're going to be extremely happy. Either way, this breaks down. 1 elim already. Nade starting to send over the top. Doc is hurting. The Mafioso looks to deliver the final nail.
Perfect encirclement from Alpha 7. They read this fight like a book. And they add these points to their tally with all too much gusto. Na'Vi trying to leave, and now they're under pressure from the Brazilians as well. 3 points earned so far. A headshot landed onto Lemon. The play zone takes him down, and Revo doesn't want to let that point slip away from them. Picks it up, and Lemon gets eliminated. Puncher now on the back line for Na'Vi. The last to stand in the blue. The high ground, though, flowed out towards. That is a knocked player and a surviving player. Let's go with that. For Na'Vi up on the high ground, they can get that res and maybe get a little bit of an answer, but I don't think that they're going to be able to find it with the position that Alpha 7 hold over them. A really good result for the Brazilians on the north.
Alpha 7 just going from good to better here inside this map. And Revo, to be fair to him, even though not been too high up in the lobby, he's been eviscerating the competition thus far, reminding them why he is the shotgun of Brazil. But RCB make their way on over on that eastern side to Alpha 7, have an inkling of what's going down.
RCB not the ones to find it. It's actually flipped from Na'Vi, who spots McGrellin on the way out. There's cover from the buggy, but it is slim to none. And with RCB, you're right, coming in from this western side, the ridgeline is exposed. Alpha 7, I think they're losing McGrellin here. Not really too much to do about it, but two players looking for an answer, moving up the side of the cliff in the vehicle, trying to scramble their way back to Na'Vi and put the pressure on even further. Turn the screws to them. But all three of these Na'Vi players have somehow made it out blank.
I don't know how that's possible, but the resilience shown there from Na'Vi is nothing short of extraordinary. TJB up against Guild. Jakey doing a pretty good job. Themselves in it. Triple S gets a lot of shots and longs now. Has to deal with the short end of the stick down towards this south side. The player gets right up in his face. And now he looks to finish.
Over the top of the smoke, drops down low. Wagner there. High ground potentially a third party as the spray from Longs is there. Matic on that off angle is the one to put a stop to it. And the rest of Guild under pressure as well. Team Spirit have flexed out. They lost a player earlier, but they still have 3 to go. And Wagner, he's trapped on the outside here for Guild. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this unless you rip a real big smoke train, get some reses on board. Guild should be done for here.
Yeah, this is a terrifying situation to be in for Guild. Have to marshal the banners if they want to get out of here, but it's just unlikely. Matic fully out of manual, straight into automatic. Sending the nades downhill, and it's impossible to leave this location. Team Spirit do need to clear it, though. So Kitsune will be first to face. Puts the fire up in front.
Molotov reduces the retreat opportunities and immediately forces the peak. Team Spirit handle that one. And Guild fall to it. 6 elims found for Team Spirit on the western side of this circle. As we're just about to find where our next phase is going to take us. Right now, Thunder Talk, slap bang in the middle. 2 hills either side of them. Trying to keep themselves under control with 4 players in the middle. The circle does slam straight on top of them as well.
Thunder Talk have a very big opportunity now. For RCB, maybe it was a missed window, which was Alpha 7 and Na'Vi, and I think it was more the fact that somehow, some way, Na'Vi is able to pick themselves up to their feet, looking fairly zombie-like. Keep on walking forward. They do make it into the circle. And RCB has to clear. They want to play over towards that eastern side, which is the only really feasible approach for them.
Silas first to cross the road. 2 players from Alpha 7 to face off against them. Na'Vi still on that eastern flank. Silas spotted, and that is, you're right, from VOIN Donkey on the southwest edge of this fight. This scrap is going the way of Alpha 7, though. Dips out into the blue for a long time. CARYA takes a lot of damage from it, takes a round as well, but will just about stay alive for a moment longer. Outside, he does find the knock, but it's Vexy with the Maxi 14. Hitting hard, and Alpha 7 fall to it.
Sara, the lone samurai, now needs to go on by himself. Time to get some more points. He doesn't know that NIGMA Galaxy's out, but he just needs to live. But this is a hard place to do it from. VOIN Donkey ID likely will have information. He's got no vehicle to work with until he spots a monster truck right inside his way. He'll need that bad boy going forward. Sends it out, tons of damage pouring over towards him though. How much longer can he live? And Na'Vi should have sightlines on this.
It's VOIN Donkey though who are peppering the edge of this monster truck. I don't think it gets away. You can see it starting to burst into flames. And under the bonnet, that's far from healthy, will no longer be operable. And Sara is trapped, but he's in the zone. He is in just about the north side of this zone and will be safe for just a moment longer. VOIN Donkey ID are able to sit there too. Na'Vi with their outpost on the north, not so lucky, but Influence Rage, they're rolling around on the south side. Team Spirit crunching in from the north. DRX being the opposing force to put the pressure down, and Diego's the last to stand for Influence Rage.
Strong approach from Team Spirit this game. I mean, they are surrounded on all sides. Nade's going through. Good one over the top side there from DRX. Team Spirit will claim one of those eliminations. Now Dplus trying to clear out INSILIO. Still with 4 players alive though, John. 4 eliminations. This could turn out to be a good game for them. Angling themselves closer and closer to the top 2.
It depends on how far Sara can go. With INSILIO going down, the placements are going to start to add up now. It's Dplus KIA, 5 eliminations. Slowly approaching. They were 16 points behind the top spot at the start of this match. They are slowly eating into that lead. Na'Vi take a knock, and that actually goes over to Dplus KIA as well. Puncher, I don't think he's getting back up, with Chips moving into position, flanking out to the east side there. Goes out wide and has the cover. Next circle comes through. We'll see where it takes us. Again, slam straight on top of ThunderTalk.
For RCB, actually not that terrible. This forces VOIN Donkey ID to move forward, but again, RCB, Sara's got nothing to work with, no vehicle. To pad on down towards the circle here, has to hope more teams go out on the outside. Top 5 would be ideal. It's not going to be a huge amount of points, but Dplus also need to go down for them. Like the boys are saying, I think it is going to be down to the final map.
Certainly all to play for. The roll up from Na'Vi. Not going according to plan, not quite. ThunderTalk able to hold it. 4 elims found, and they will go down there. ThunderTalk hold the center, and they keep 4 players alive, but they've had to regroup to the same side of the road blank. There could be an opening.
For ThunderTalk, it's a good hold. Very good hold. Difficult buildings to work against as well. Good crossfire they held in that location. Team Spirit trying to get away. Zeta with that P90.
A fearsome sight over any ridgeline. Hitting them with the monster over the hill. As Kitsune launches a nade, bounces back off the tree, unfortunately, protected by the boughs of it. And not going to be able to connect that first attempt. Team Spirit down to 2 players, but Razak's been spotted. That's the off angle. That's Sara, I think, from RCB, the last player to go on out wide. But now attention has been drawn their way. And I don't know how much further Sara can get into this.
Pretty much has to push over towards the east here. With Na'Vi going down, it actually exposed a lot of space over towards that northeast side, but Nolbu, always the front line of the spear, moves forward, but it's Vexy once again. The Maxi 14 inside of his hands is devilish, to say the least.
But he's been spotted. Vexy does go down, and it's Dplus KIA, who now have not got RCB to extend their lead ahead of them. RCB falling in 7th place, low placements, low eliminations here, a definite window of opportunity from the east side, relatively uncontested. They will look to open up the thrusters now.
8 elimination game from Team Spirit. Not bad at all, honestly, considering that they were fully surrounded. Massive standoff between them and a fair few other squads. But it is Dplus. All eyes on them at the moment. One of the few teams towards the top side of the table that has that chance to chase. Right now, they control a lot of the eastern side, but they may have just met some of their South Korean brethren over towards the west. Osao comes flying in to assist Chips, Favian, Nolbu on the back line.
With the standoff not favorable for Dplus KIA, they're reinforcing. You can see Nolbu and Favian moving a little bit closer down to the south. The next circle's going to pop as well as this fight unfurls. As Nolbu moves up to that high ground, it goes over to ThunderTalk again on the circle shift. So it will be a contest for these buildings. And how firmly can they hold their grasp around them? That's the question for the team from PEL. 5 eliminations found on their side already. Meanwhile, Dplus KIA, they seem to have forced DRX to go for the crash first. Or are they trying to leapfrog this? This is a big rotate coming through from DRX. They're now ahead of Dplus KIA. Can they stop them here? Fabian cannot connect the spray. Oh, this is disastrous for Dplus. They've just allowed them straight in.
That was bad indeed. Not a single shot delivered on mark. Now Dplus looks to send over toward that front side, get the nades out. Shotgun in hand from Nolbu, has to send back. The spear blunted at the front.
Swatted aside. This is a real big rotate, a real big play from DRX. Nolbu hasn't been flushed just yet, but Kaikse's putting the nades down, trying to land them. And in come VOIN Donkey ID. Potential respite for Dplus KIA as VOIN Donkey ID from Indonesia move over to the north side of this circle and try and put pressure on. DRX can no longer freely peek over these ridgelines, can no longer get into position, and this is exactly why. Kaikse takes so much damage, and he can't freely move anymore.
Now VOIN Donkey's not happy about this. They move in. They're here to lay down the law. They find the last player there from Team Spirit, 8 eliminations, 6th place. VOIN Donkey ID looking to take this game further. 5 elims in their hands, and they've got a chokehold over DRX and Dplus.
The east side hills. The target for the Falcons as they try and descend. Down the hill they go, trying to careen their way into the buildings and actually making it successfully to some cover in the next circle. A little defilade to keep them safe, a little bit more time to play with. In the meantime, Dplus KIA did take a knock from VOIN Donkey ID. But that should be resable just about.
Razak moving the McLaren out from the blue here. Next circle into stage A, and Thunder Talks once again eating good tonight. Razak looks to finish off Falcons. Get behind them, potentially take control of the western building because Thunder Talks smartly have regrouped, and VOIN Donkey goes for a big old swing.
And King is able to meet it blow for blow. Razor goes down, it's torn apart. High chiming in as well. 2 more points added to the tally for the Thunder Talk. And VOIN Donkey ID shredded down to 2, but they make their way down to the roadside.
This might have been a mistake from VOIN Donkey ID. You understand the thought process. That's why I try swing on by, but Thunder Talk's way too accurate in that moment. Dplus though, and DRX get to reaggress. Now that the annoying fly to the side has been dealt with, and they're gonna go for it again. The Donkeys on their march out.
I don't think so. I do not think so. The last rollout for Vexy, somehow staying safe. Big old question mark on that finally on the hop in. Spotted by King. And now the top of the hill, it's getting hot as well. Dplus KIA able to win out the fight against DRX. And with 2 players down, they can res, they're not under threat, but High Flex is out now. 10 elims found for the Thunder Talks. And goodness me, what a lot of pressure onto Dplus KIA. They've found more elims now, they can get more placements out of this game. Somehow Icy's still alive for Falcons, but a 3rd place guaranteed for South Korea.
This is a huge game from Dplus. After the opportunity was given to them, after the door was opened, they've firmly taken it in their hands. They will pick up Icy. This is a slick game indeed from Dplus. Now looking down towards Thunder Talk.
10 elims on either side. But look at the stock of utility for Thunder Talk. At the top of the screen, you can see 15 smoke grenades, 18 frags. And Dplus KIA a little bit more low on supplies. They'll launch in from the high ground and actually may be able to sweep towards the middle of this circle blank because it's closing, but it might not matter.
Nolbu down, and for Thunder Talk, this ain't no talk, this is an argument. For why PEL is such a strong region still.
Oh.
Shin goes down, and Dplus on the side, still on the grind. Fabian will pick up Shing. Start to work the issue, a full reset on the level 3, on the helmet and the vest. goes AJ. Dangerous positioning. Nade could be good. Air burst strong.
Oh, big.
Hits one, hits a second. It's all down to Fabian.
He's got the roadside, but nothing more. A 1v3 on the cards. Dplus KIA need him to dig deep. King moves forward, surges into the fight. The spray is good for one, and it will connect. Thunder Talk take the chicken dinner.
Lightning struck not once, not twice, 3 times, 4 on that circle. And Thunder Talk will take themselves a chicken dinner here in match 5.
Finally, China steps up and gets a big win here for Thunder Talk. To be honest, all of our talk is really focused on Dplus here, having a phenomenal match with a good amount of eliminations. I think finishing around 10 plus the 6 points of placements, getting themselves 16 points and keep themselves in reach of that trophy.
Such an important game for Dplus KIA. This is going to be their one opportunity if they wanted to keep competing with NIGMA Galaxy and REGNUM CARYA Bra. And their rotation from Impala, hugging the coastal line onto the east, playing northeast of El Azahar. And really that late game finish here, sure they don't get the win, but the execution from the entire macro perspective was perfectly executed. I did have some doubts, 7, but overall it was a really solid game.
I didn't have any doubts. This is,
Really?
this
Okay,
is why this team, I mean, going into the last 2 matches, before this match I was saying Dplus is going to be able to pleasantly surprise us because of what they're able to do. I'm really impressed with what they were able to do in regards to the 3-1 splits. At one point, Max, you were seeing the 3-1 splits out of Dplus and you were a little bit worried.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried they were getting too close to DRX and Influence Rage, but I think that themselves understood, okay, we're maybe a little bit too close to the competition here in the city of El Azahar. We're going to just hold our position, wait for the circle, and then they go east and they clear INSILIO, they clear Na'Vi. They're just on a complete path of destruction to the east and then claim 50%.